Is decentralized AI the next great infrastructure race? And if it is, who actually gets to own the rails? I'm Ricky Lee, and this is the Capital Compass. And today we're looking at Astrid Intelligence, an Aquis-listed company building and operating infrastructure inside the decentralized AI ecosystem. Astrid is not positioning itself as a passive investor in AI. The company says it is building, acquiring, and running systems with BitTensor, an open source, decentralized AI network where participants contribute computing power, data, and models in exchange for network rewards. At the center of that strategy is Astrid Arena, an incentivized competition designed to develop autonomous AI trading agents with the long-term ambition of challenging traditional quantitative investment models. Joining me now to walk us through the company, the opportunity, and the future of decentralized AI is Siam Kidd, CEO of Astrid Intelligence. Siam, great to have you with us. Welcome to the Capital Compass.
Thanks for having me. What a cracking intro.
You're very welcome. So let's start with the big picture, Siam. Astrid positions itself as infrastructure for the decentralized AI ecosystem, not just another company talking about AI from the sidelines, right? So what excites you the most about the long-term potential of decentralized AI, and where does Astrid fit into that shift?
Wow. Yes, it's a good question. And there's a lot of context, which I'm going to try and squeeze in. But our big 35,000-foot view is that BitTensor, this decentralizing distributed AI ecosystem, is the third big network. So with the invention of TCP/IP that led to the invention of the World Wide Web, that was the first globally scaled network of information transfer, relay, and dissemination. And that did really well. The whole world is built off the internet right now. And then the second great network was the Bitcoin protocol, because that was a globally scaled network that allowed for information and wealth transfer, dissemination, relay, and propagation. And I strongly believe that BitTensor is the third big protocol, because it's a globally scaled network of information, wealth, and intelligence transfer, and also creation. And the reason why these networks are getting more important is because they're focusing on different things. So with the internet, like global network, that allowed for emails, for example, and transferring information is handy. But then Bitcoin rose so fast and is the biggest supercomputer on the planet by far, because it's far more valuable to be able to ping money peer to peer. From now on, it's going to be AI self-recursive, improvements. And so the ability to be able to transfer or even create new intelligence is far more important than sending an email, sending money. It's intelligence creation. So that's like the big picture. And so understanding what BitTensor is, it's this massive buffet of different AI capabilities. So whether AGI or ASI is created by someone out there and it escapes into the internet or whatnot, it doesn't really matter. We're not trying to create AGI. It's just this massive buffet of capabilities, whether it's computer vision or protein folding. There is an independent AI startup under BitTensor doing all sorts of different things. And I think ultimately BitTensor will end up being like the Linux for AI.
Wow. Okay. Remind me to send you my Bitcoin wallet after this. You've been very clear that Astrid is an operational company, not a passive investment vehicle, kind of what I alluded to earlier. So what does that mean in practice? How does being hands-on inside the BitTensor ecosystem create value for shareholders?
Well, we're not a DAT. And there's been a big explosion in digital asset treasuries where they simply raise money, they buy Bitcoin or ETH, etc., and they sit on it and do nothing. It's a passive sort of play there. But if you go back to the old days of Bitcoin, and you were switched on enough and thought, oh, I could get some compute here and I could mine Bitcoin, those that did that made an absolute fortune. Because they are participating in the Bitcoin network and being rewarded, because Bitcoin has one incentive mechanism. Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever he, she, or they were, said, right, we want to incentivize compute, because that's the only way that the Bitcoin network could be resilient. The more compute it had, the more secure it is. So that's one incentive mechanism. It's a bit like an employer and employee. That incentive mechanism is, you give me 40 hours of your week or 60 hours of your week, your life force, and I'll give you some money. It's a very rudimentary, blunt incentive mechanism. One of the innovations with BitTensor is that they took this incentive mechanism thing, went, wait a minute, there are better ways to incentivize things, people or machines or future sentient life. And so if there's anything on the planet that you want to be solved or challenged or have a crack at, you can incentivize people because markets are the most efficient thing on Earth. And it's a bit like I use the Ansari X Prize, where they incentivize universities and companies to build a reusable spaceship. And then, Virgin Galactic now uses that model, that won that award. And so, in BitTensor, there's all sorts of different challenges or problems that are being incentivized to be solved. Like there's a good one called Zeus. That is literally, hands down, the best weather prediction on the planet. They've incentivized data scientists all around the world to come up with, really good algorithms to predict weather better. And they're getting rewarded. Those are accurately, consistently accurate. Yeah. So we want to go back to your question. We want to operate in it. We are, we're buying and building up infrastructure within it. And so, yeah, we're not only helping make the metal that the picks and shovels are going to be used on, but we're doing that for AI instead of for the gold rush.
And so a major part of this strategy is Astrid Arena, which is building a pipeline of autonomous trading agents. How does that model work, and how could AI-driven trading agents become a meaningful commercial opportunity over time? I think you maybe just alluded to it a bit there.
Just very quickly, like a lot of people say, well, how does BitTensor compete with OpenAI or XAI, etc.? These juggernaut frontier labs. And the thing is, we're not. There's a good analogy of someone comparing these AI companies. Of some companies are trying to build these massive spaceships, these all-encompassing spaceships, whereas there's other companies building one very siloed thing, like bicycles. So what BitTensor is doing is focusing on whatever niche it is, like a really deep and really narrow niche, which eventually AGI, ASI, whatever in the future will go, oh, actually, that capability already exists, yoink, or they'll pay to have access to it. Now, for Astrid Arena, I've been a trader for 22 years now, and our CTO, Leo Mercier, he's also been a vast trading experience. So both of us have obviously have that experience. And so we've looked at the whole market, and there is an incumbent industry out there, which are quants. So banks, investment firms, hedge funds, they spend hundreds, if not millions of dollars per year on maths geeks. And I say the word geek very lovingly. I wish I was a maths geek. They spend all this money on building trading algorithms, whether it's high frequency trading algorithms or other such stuff. And in my experience, over the last 20 odd years, I've come across thousands of different trading bots and trading algorithms, and they're all like rubbish martingale system. They just don't work. But we've got this coalescence of new capabilities now. AI is now actually making trading algorithms really accessible and really quite effective. So in-house, we've built some, I've built a really good trading algorithm that's been doing crazy returns. And that's just little old me, and I'm not a coder. And so what we thought is actually we can use the BitTensor incentive mechanism, this ecosystem, and go, right, who here can build the best trading agent, autonomous trading agent, and let's incentivize that. So what we do is it's called Astrid Arena, and it's a competitional arena where people can submit their agents, whether it's OpenClaw or Hermes or whatever system you want. And every week there's a new battle, and each battle lasts 2 to 4 weeks. And they trade a selection of different things from gold, Bitcoin, Tau, Monero, Doge. Like it's a semi-uncorrelated basket of goods. It's paper trading, so that you get $10,000 of paper money. There's no leverage. And then they have to autonomously trade. every time the agent places a trade, it submits what's called an execution, and that gives us the logic and the reasoning behind why the agent placed that trade. And so the incentive here is that these 2-week, 4-week battles, that we call them, they have a pretty big prize pool. So the smallest battle we give is $7,500. The biggest one is about $18,000, and we're going to be increasing the prize pools as the competition parameters increase. Now, we've been going at this for about a month and a half, 2 months now, and the performance has been quite boggling. So obviously in the first couple of weeks, all the agents were terrible. Everyone was losing money hand over fist. You had the odd people like trying to game it. And as we've increased the difficulty as the agents have got better, we've increased the difficulty of the parameters, or the battleground, so to speak. And now even the most average agent is doing something like 10 to 20% in a 2-week period, which is just incredible. And we're getting all of that intelligence.
Sounds like some sort of battle royale for coding. Maybe that's the next trick that you're missing, that you could televise.
It's a battle royale for trading agents. Yeah, there's already another subnet that does a battle royale for coding.
Wow. Okay. So also kind of going back to your background a little bit there, crypto investor for how many years, former RAF pilot, fund manager, author, and now CEO of a listed decentralized AI company. How has that mix of market experience, discipline, and technical exposure shaped the way that you're building Astrid?
Oh, massively. I wouldn't say I'm anything special. I'm distinctly average, or just slightly above average at a lot of different things, but enough so I have a better look. So because BitTensor is that, you have to imagine it's this protocol, this umbrella, and it has 128 independent AI startups. That's all, 128 slots to do something different. And each one of these AI startups, they're fighting different things. One, they're trying to incentivize a really hard challenge to be solved, but they're also running a business at the same time. So it's a fine balance. You need to be able to understand how to run, grow, and scale a business, and also do the tech side. So I used to be an angel investor, and I did a lot of mergers and M&A for distressed businesses. So I've built, run, grown, and sold 4 companies in the past. So I know the business cycle. So I got that bit, and I've also been trading. So I guess the different experiences is helping run the subnet within BitTensor. And then hopefully, I've never been a PLC CEO before, but we'll see how it goes.
So a real Siam of all trades. You've described Astrid as building infrastructure for the last major computing shift. As AI becomes more embedded in the global economy, what does long-term success look like for the company? Just finally, Siam.
So one of the things we have is a validator, and that's like the referee, which that helps verify checks the veracity of AI outputs across different subnets. So if we take, let's take Zeus again, that weather prediction one. So we heavily validate on that, and by being a validator on a subnet, we get the output from the miners. So the data scientists submitting all the algorithms. So like if we wanted to, we could use the output. So by being a validator, you basically get like a sneak peek into the inner workings of every subnet. But for us, primarily, Astrid Arena is our thing, because if you're to take things to the limit, or let's say over a period of time, I can't say when, or we will have gleaned enough intelligence from all of these agents giving us their information and seeing how they trade, that we'll be able to have our own trading agent based on whoever's the best agent there is. And then we can then put a lot of money behind that agent ourselves and just run a portion of our own capital. But also we aim to sell that trading agent, or license out to big investment firms. So yeah, a bank, a growing bank or a growing investment firm, they can either spend millions of dollars on finding the best maths people out there to try and build their quants, or they can just license an already made positive expectancy trading algorithm.
Well, Siam, you've given us a lot to think about today. Thank you so much for joining us and walking us through everything about Astrid Intelligence and the story.
Thank you. Sorry for waffling on.
That's okay. Waffle away, my friend. I'm Ricky Lee, and this has been the Capital Compass. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.